Hey moguls, it's Dr. T here, and I'm coming to you with an upgrade, sharing with you how you can do an internal family system session on yourself and be able to use one of these amazing methodologies for transformation that I've used in conjunction with other methodologies we've used to transform lives. And it's one of those things that is so phenomenal that even though this is someone else's methodology, which is the whole internal family systems approach with Dr. Richard. Um, I want to go ahead and give you a little bit of a set of steps in order to know how to do it. So, number one, to just know that you are going to do a session that gives attention to different parts of yourself. And we're going to first start by identifying a part of yourself that you want to connect with and help support, understand this part, help it transform, and get it in a better role than it's playing right now. So you first got to connect to like what's something that's going on that is a behavior that you don't like, that is a process that's going on within yourself that you keep noticing. So it could be this part of you that's overeating, a part of you that's over drinking, a part of you that doesn't stand up for yourself, a part of you that reacts and yells. It could be whatever this is. You're gonna pick a part. And I find it helpful to just name that part. So, like, I just did a session with a part, and the part avoids things, and I call it the avoider. And it can help to name it. You don't have to, but that's the process, part of the process. And as I go through these steps, and I'm going to give you all of them, so stay tuned. These are the steps that really help guide the process for you. And I also encourage you to trust yourself and allow yourself to expand upon these steps. So you're going to pick a part. I really recommend that you get in just a quiet place with yourself with no disturbances. Um, you're going to, like, I like to sit on this chair or I like to lay on the couch, but you can do this anywhere. So I like to put a cover over my eyes so I can really go into connection with that part and not be distracted by something else. That's one of my favorite parts of the process. And what you're going to first do is you're just going to call forth that part to come forward. And you're going to, first also, I should say this, it helps to identify, does this part seem like a protector? Does this seem like a firefighter? Does this seem like an exiled part? To just know what you're dealing with. And a lot of your parts are protectors, which are in two categories of the protector category, which is the protector firefighter, the protector manager that helps manage your life so it makes sure you do everything well. And then there's the exiled part. So you're going to just have a sense of what this part is. And just a note, I find it a little bit easier for people that are new to start working with protector and firefighter parts and move on to exile parts, but sometimes those exile parts are going to come forward and those are going to be the priority. So you get in this quiet place, you put the eye mask on, and you just, if you don't have one, cover your eyes with a t-shirt or something. And you're going to call the part forward. You're going to invite it to come in. And I just tend to say, I want to call forth the part that does X, Y, Z. I want to call forward the part that does A, B, C. I want to call forward the part that avoids. I want to call forward the part that overeats. I want to call forward the part that procrastinates. I want to call forward the part that gets reactive, whatever it is. And you're going to invite it to show up. And then you're going to notice the next step is, where is this part residing in my body? And you're going to notice, where is it? It's hanging out. Some of my clients will say it's in my head, it's in my neck, it's in my back, it's in my gut. You're just going to notice where it hangs out. The one I just did a session on was hanging out in the back of my throat. The avoider that was avoiding saying things. That makes sense to me. And you're just going to start to notice where it lives. Because then when you're done with the session, you're going to notice what's kind of cool is ideally it's going to be gone out of that area. You're going to clear that from the body, right? Because the body keeps the score of what's going on. And you're going to then connect into what is the relationship you have toward the part. Like, how are you feeling about it? And you're just going to, whatever the answers are, this is very key in a session. You're not going to overthink the answers. The answer's going to come, the parts of you that are going to respond, and you're not going to overthink it or question it. You're just going to go with it. So it's like, how do you feel about it? I feel confused. I feel mad. I feel sorry for it. I feel whatever. And you're just going to be honest. You're the self holding space for the part. You call it forth, and then we're seeing where it lives in your body, and then you're getting a sense of how do you feel about it? What's your relationship to it? You're annoyed by it. You're sad for it. Whatever it is. And you're going to get that sense of it. And you're just going to keep going in a connection to this part. You're going to keep getting closer and closer to it. You're going to invite it in. You're having a conversation. You're having a session with it. You're having a meeting with it. You're giving it attention, maybe for the first time in its life. And you're just going to notice also when you start to connect with it, where is it? Is it sitting in a living room? Is it swinging on a swing set? Is it sitting on a park bench? Is it floating in space? I had a client the other day that the part was just floating in space. You're just going to kind of get a sense of it. Like, is it coming more towards you? Is it avoiding you? Is it scared? You're just going to start to build a relationship with it. See what it's all about. Just like you would a brand new person. How does it sit? What does it do? What are its mannerisms? And you're just going to connect with it, and you're going to start just getting a sense of it. So you can just go a little bit further by just, again, completely welcoming it to be very open with you. Let it know it's in a safe space. If it struggles to come forward and say, I'm here, I'm ready for this chat, just keep inviting it in. Just keep letting it know you're safe, you're here. You just want to know it, you want to connect with it, you want to see what it's all about. So, you're going to ask it. Now, you're doing, say we call it this avoider part. This is the part that I just worked with. Say, so please share with me. You've been doing all this avoiding, and I want to understand more about why you do this. And you're going to ask it to share with you. What does it think will happen what does it think will happen? TJ wants to chime in. You're going to ask it, what does it think will happen if it doesn't do that? So it's like, hey, if you were to stop doing all this avoiding, what do you think would happen to me? And it's going to give you the answer. And the answer for my avoider part was like, it thought I was going to get hurt. I was going to get injured. I had several other things to say, but that was the gist of it. And your role here as the adult that's having this conversation and this session with this part of you, like you would a teammate that's on your team, you're here to see what its answers are. You're not here to change its answers. You're not here to reject them. You're here to get them. So it's going to tell you, if I don't do this thing, if I don't, like I had a client the other day, it's like his part was like holding him back, constraining him. And the part thought that if it didn't, that his whole family was going to fall apart. So you want it to tell you, what do you think is going to happen to me if you don't do this role? And it'll let you know this is its main concern. And you get that info, tell me more. And if you need more info from it, you're just going to keep saying, share with me more. I want to understand it further. You're here to understand it so you can transform it. So you can collaborate with this part of yourself. You can befriend it. You can now manage it. and be a real leader with it, partner. So then you ask it. So just so we know, what age do you think I am right now? Because it is doing a job for a particular self from a particular time frame. And it'll tell you, I think you're 3, I think you're 15, I think you're 19. The avoider one, I thought I was 6 years old. So it's going to tell you, oh, it's 7, it's 10, it's 15, it's 32, whatever it is. And you're okay. So this is what you think. You think I'm 6, and this is the role you're playing in order to support my 6-year-old. Effectively, whatever age it thinks you are, that's typically the time it emerged, came in to help you, got formed, got stronger in its role, and was doing a very specific thing to help you get through something that was very difficult for you. So once you know what it is, like, okay, you think I'm 6, I hear you. Okay, you started this operation when I was 6 years old. And then you just start to let it know, hey, I just want you to know that while you're doing all this, I am right here and right now a full-fledged adult who is a wise, mature person who is in charge and can handle this reality. And I am not 6 anymore. So I want to let you know that so that we can start to build that relationship. And now you're going to get more connected to the part. And it's like, okay, I see there's a safe adult here. What I like to do is then invite more connection with the part. Can I move closer to you? Can I connect with you more? And wherever the part is, if it's sitting on a swing set and I'm 10 and it's swinging on a swing set, I'm like, can I swing next to you? Can I come into this space and be with you? Because we want to be with this part. We're here to be connected fully with it. So you want to move in that direction. Like, what can I do to get closer to you? Is that okay? And you just keep forming a closer relationship because that's a part of you that didn't have what it needed at that time. This other part got created to try to help you and your young self through that, your stressed self. And now you're saying, I'm here. Can I get closer to you and show you that I'm a safe adult who can handle it and I've got your back? You move closer to it, start to connect with it. I've been swinging on a swing with it. I've been sitting on a school bench with it. And then we start to face each other, like all these things. Start to hold hands, put my arm around it. You're really connecting to what it needs. And you just go into a process of getting more connected. And you start to ask some questions to understand it. So tell me about this role that you play. Tell me, and these are some series of questions you can do. When did you start this role? Why did you start it? Why did you, start to do, in this case, in my example, the avoiding? Why are you playing this role in my life? What is it that you're wanting to accomplish for me? Tell me about this role that you're in, because what we're trying to do, everyone, we're trying to understand it because these parts often got into this role, got trapped in it, are stuck in a time warp, and they don't want to be in it anymore. They're exhausted. That's why the coping mechanisms aren't working anymore, by the way. So you want to learn about it. Tell me about this role. Tell me about what you've been doing. Tell me about why you've been doing it. What happened that got you on the job, that got you on duty? So they're going to the part's going to tell you. And as soon as it tells you something, you got to take that answer. And what I like to do is keep asking the same question or similar questions so that it gets a chance to ultimately unload. Because it's therapy session, it's coaching session, and it's team meeting all in one. Anything else you want to tell me about this role? Anything else you want to tell me about why you started this? Anything else you want to tell me about what it's like to be in this role? And you just keep letting it tell you what its focus is, what its strategy is, and why. What were you hoping to accomplish in this role? Well, I wanted to make sure you didn't get injured. Something like that might come up. And you get this part to explain itself to you. Okay? So you start to understand, right? Something like, I came on board when you were 6 because your parents were getting a divorce. Your mom was getting a new boyfriend. Your mom was needing mental health care and getting a new boyfriend instead. And your dad was off philandering with another woman. And you just wanted your mom and dad and not this new strange man in your home. And I came on board to help you deal with that. Like, that might be the answer. Just depends on what it is for you. It'll tell you. Just be open to listening and hear it and take it seriously. So let it give you everything. Is there anything else you want me to know? Say that 10 times until it tells you everything that it wants you to know, and then it will be done. Is there anything else you want me to know? It's like, then I start to move into, is there anything you'd like me to do for you or anything you'd like me to say to anyone? Because now it knows you're there to protect it. You're there to kick some ass for it. You're there to speak for it. You're there to take charge. And it might say, yeah, tell my mom and dad this, and this, because I couldn't say it, so tell them. It's going to tell you. Might say, no, I'm good. Ask it. Let it know this is the moment where you can absolutely unburden yourself. Are there any other aspects that you want to unburden here? So, yeah, I don't want to do this anymore. So then you can say, okay, what any other burdens you're carrying? Yeah, it's like this, it's this, it's this. It'll tell you. Who or where would you like to give this burden up to? It might say my great great grandmother. It might say the wind, the fire, it dissolves into thin air. It might say God can take it. But you're going to get this part to get unburdened. And you can ask it, do you want to be in this role anymore? Do you want to do something else? Do you want to play another role? Do you want to retire? Do you want to go on a vacation? What do you need? And what do you want to do now? Because I'm not 6 years old. I don't need this anymore. You don't need to play this exhausting role. And there's opportunity for you if you'd like to play a new role. 9 times out of 10, the parts want a new role. Only very occasionally they want to retire, but that's fine if they do. They want to retire. You can like walk through a bit of a retirement ceremony of like exactly what do they want to say as they retire? Where do they want to go? I want to go to Bora Bora. Okay, we're going to send you there. And you help it go there. You give it a bon voyage party. Almost every time a part is going to want a new role. In my case, the avoider wanted to become the communicator because it had to avoid saying everything its whole existence. Like, now I want to communicate everything. And then you ask, tell me more about this role. What else do you want to do? And let it define you. Let it give a full job description. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to help children who are suffering. I want to speak to this. I want to, be a TED speaker. Whatever it is, let it tell you the role it wants to play, what it wants to do. Ask it, what do you want to accomplish in this role? What positive impact do you want to make? Who do you want to help? What is the job description of this role? Because you're going to play a new role on the internal family team, which I like to refer to as the internal dynasty. And you're getting its job description. It's going to tell you, I want to do this, this, and this. I want to make videos that help children. I want to, um, who knows what it's going to tell you? It's you're letting it know you can literally do anything. What role would you like to play? I'd like to know what it is. And typically in its new role, it's saying, I want to communicate more. I want to say the truth. I don't want to hold anything back. So do you want to communicate? Okay, great. So now you're the communicator. I like to give my parts these names, these identities. So it's going to tell you, I have a part that really, really wants to support kids who particularly have struggled with eating disorders and just give them so much, support and leadership and strategy. That's its role. That's what it's like. It knows its target audience. So ask your part. What role? What are the things you want to do? What are the activities? What are the results you want to get? Who's your target audience? Just ask it exactly what it wants to do here, because it's going to be on the internal team. And get that info, if it's assuming it jives with you, which I think it typically does for everybody. Now you feel the part is literally transforming, and it's so exciting. I'm so excited I love transformation for anybody and anything. And it's so cool what happens for it. It's like graduating from that old job into a new one. It's so exciting. So ask it. Let it tell you. It's super creative. It's innovative. It's going to let you know what it wants to do. And you're going to let it know, okay, that's your new role on the team. And I'm in charge. Just letting you know, I'm a wise, mature adult. I call the shots. I can handle it. And I'm going to be collaborating with you, checking in with you on your role. And this is how you're going to do it. You're going to manage your internal family instead of trying to manage your external family, which never works anyway. When you manage your internal family well, the rest of your reality reflects that internal reality externally on the material plane. It's kind of brilliant. And now that you have it in its new role, you're going to invite it. Are you ready to come into the present moment? And at this point, you might have your arms around it. You might be hugging. You might be high-fiving. Whatever it is, you're in a great connection and a collaboration. And you're like, all right, you ready to go into the present? It's going to say it's ready when it's ready. And you're going to come into the present. Sometimes you're just walking holding hands. Sometimes you're walking side by side, one in front of the other. Sometimes, boom, you're just there. I just had one where my part and I walked out of a house that I grew up in. She locked the door and literally chucked the freaking key hundreds and hundreds of yards, like where I couldn't see it. I'm like, the key's gone. She literally did the old lock the door, throw away the key strategy. I'm like, go girl. That was a way she was communicating. Like, we're out of here. I'm done here. She was like hawking it. And all of a sudden we came into the present moment and we were walking along the marina where I walk in the multiple times a day in my life. Together, hand in hand. Arms swinging, like just feeling like such a great such great partners. And you know what this part wanted to do? Wanted to make this video communicating how to do an internal family session for yourself and giving even more direction than I've given before. The communicator, like, of course, she's like, oh, let me go. I'm ready. Let's go, man. Let's do it. All right, everyone. So once you're now back into the present moment, you can just kind of come into the room, take off your eye mask or whatever's been covering your eyes, and just feel the peace and the presence of having this part of you, having received attention, acknowledgement, connection from you, and transformation. And I meant to mention that in that process, when the part is telling you all it's been doing for you, I forgot to add this part, I want to remember, acknowledge it. Give it praise, give it accolades, say, it's amazing. You have done so much for me. You've got me to this part. You've got me all this way. You've done so much. Give it its acknowledgement. That's a very important part that I want to make sure I get in here. So now you have called it forth. You have given its absolute quality time. You have connected with it and let it know it's a safe space for us to learn about each other. You have sought to understand it fully, which most parts never get understood. Most people just hate these parts of themselves, and it's bad. It's a horrible feeling for the part. You learn about it, why it got on the job, when it got on the job, what its job description was, what its results are that it's going for, everything that you need to know about this part and what role it's been playing. It's like doing an interview of a new person. That's the person that's been on your team. How long you been working here? What you been doing? What have you been producing? Oh, it's been 30 years you've been working here and I've never talked to you before. Tell me about what you've done here. Well, I made sure you survived from 6 to 45 years old, and now I'm exhausted and I'm ready for a new role. Then you've made sure you understand it, you connect with it, you give it some affection, some attention. You let it know you're an adult, you're safe, you got its back, that it can change its role or it can go on its merry way because it may be time for retirement, or it can go be footloose and fancy free. You're making a deep connection with it. You're not rejecting and exiling another part of yourself like we're taught to do. You're bringing it forth and you're upgrading it. You're upgrading it. All right? You're helping it transform, transcend, get into the present moment and come forth with you and be side by side with you on the team, which is your internal dream team. Now, this is what I've taken from learning IFS and applying it in individual internal family sessions with myself, showing this trajectory, and now I'm sharing with you what I do. And if you want to learn more about IFS, internal family systems, please Google it and connect to all their resources, because those are the that's the father of it. That's like the people that are the absolute 100% total masters of it. And this is what I've taken from all of that and how I've created a self session strategy, a self session strategy for me that I'm now sharing with you. But I'm giving a disclaimer that I am not saying that the internal family systems people that created this and have their own website are saying this is how to do a session. This is Dr. Tracy Thomas saying, I've interpreted this. This is how I do a self session. And now I'm sharing with you how I do it if you would like to do it too. And I also encourage you to check out IFS and learn everything you want to learn on your own as well. All right, everyone. Here has been your internal family system self session process that I do, that I'm happily sharing with you with all my disclaimers. That there's so much to learn about IFS, and I encourage you to do that as well. And that if you would like to share how this is working for you, please, comment, let us know how it's going. And if this is supportive and helpful for you, please go ahead and like the video and subscribe to it to let me know if you want me to make more of this content. That'll help other people receive this content as well. It'll tell the algorithm on YouTube that you want more internal family system sessions and the things that I'm sharing about, and it makes it much more easy to support you in what you need, because then I know that this is a thumbs up and I know I'm on the right track. And I really would love it to be a mutually supportive relationship. All right. Great job, moguls. Way to tune in. Getting your internal family system self session Dr. Tracy Thomas version and interpretation giving you also the direction of Googling and looking up the Internal Family Systems Company and seeking any further information from them. There are videos that I have on my playlist with a lot more of these sessions, and you can also click on the ones that are right here that you can go to, and you can go to the next one. All right, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.